assets. Real value.
Good morning. It's the 31st of December. And for those of you who are counting, it's the last day of 2025. It's been a bumpy ride through 2025, and I can assure you that there's a few more bumps in the road, but it's going to get a lot smoother in 2026. We've just watched one of the greatest legal masterclasses we've ever seen. Russia has filed 14 different cases in 14 different courts, including the UK, the EU, Switzerland, America, the top courts throughout the entire planet against the EU. And the EU has to defend each and every one of them. They're going to need a separate legal team for every one of the 14 cases. These are major because Russia only has to win one. The EU has to win all 14 to stand a chance. And there's absolutely no chance of that happening. This is the domino that collapses the EU, that has been run by unelected bureaucrats that most countries actually rejected as people, as politicians, because they were that pathetic. And as an example, in the UK, the two people that we rejected that became high level in the EU was Neil and Kinnock. They were useless then, they're useless now. In Germany, you've got so many of them. Throughout the whole of the European Union, it's full of flunkies, full of people who failed before, and it's basically the failures club. But now it's failed on a grand scale, and they are in complete and utter panic mode because they've just been served one of the greatest masterclasses in law that's ever been done before. No guns, no bombs, no weapons, just legal. Morning, guys.
Good morning, Charlie. Hello, everybody. Well, last hello of 2025, isn't it? Well, my first story, several European governments are holding emergency talks focused on energy, security and defence cooperation. Officials say the discussions are about long-term preparedness rather than any immediate military action. The meetings come as instability in Eastern Europe continues to shape how EU countries plan for future risks and supply pressures.
There's an awful lot of unrest, and there has been for many, many years in the Middle East. And this was a big lesson that I had to learn 10 or 15 years ago. In the Middle East, you need dictators. Democracy does not work in the Middle East. They need a leader, and they need to be controlled. Democracy works very, very well for puppets who do as they're told and follow orders. But when you're talking about the Middle East, you need strong leaders. And we can look back in history and look at the peace that was there when Saddam Hussein was around. He kept peace between Iran and Iraq, Syria, Libya. He kept peace. You might not like the way he did it. Sometimes you have to go there to understand why. In very simple terms, it's pretty hot in the Middle East. They get very hot under the collar very quickly. True.
Good morning, Charlie. Good morning, Paul. Good morning, everyone. Well, speaking of puppets, reports indicate President Zelensky is facing mounting internal turmoil, with growing dissent inside Parliament and his own governing coalition. The unrest is tied to a major anti-corruption scandal and controversial moves involving Ukraine's corruption watchdogs. Protests have erupted, lawmakers are breaking ranks, and critics are openly challenging Zelensky's leadership in Kiev. Analysts warn that even a small bloc withdraws support, Zelensky could lose his parliamentary majority, triggering a minority government or a major reshuffle, all while the war continues and foreign aid hangs in the balance. This story is still developing, we're watching closely and will bring updates as soon as they come in.
You could actually reread that story and put Starmer's name in there and it would be exactly the same. Starmer has lost the UK a long time ago. Zelensky lost Ukraine years ago because they're corrupt politicians. Allegedly. And the people are waking up. This is the Great Awakening. People are seeing right through it. And the worst part about it is the mainstream media are not doing their job. They're not covering the truth. They're covering the narrative. The narrative that suits them, which shows you that they're involved. They're involved in this level of corruption, whether it's Ukraine for laundering money and for trafficking of children and for creating bioweapons to kill the population. Allegedly. When you wake up to the truth, you'll realise why the EU, why the UK and why the Ukraine are so desperate to keep this war going, because they don't want to lose their ability to make money from bioweapons, allegedly, their ability to make money from human trafficking, which, by the way, is the largest business in the world right now. Allegedly. This is why this is going on. And these people are all involved. Allegedly. They're defending it tooth and nail. And they don't want to give it up because it's a massive, massive business. This is their life and has been for years. This is where they make their money. And they're defending it. Oh.
My next story, and it seems like the sentiment across the world. Several countries across Latin America are seeing protests linked to rising living costs and inflation. Governments say they are in talks with protest leaders, but demonstrations are still ongoing in major cities. This situation reflects wider economic pressure being felt by households across the world.
It does, and it's a little lesson to everybody that when people go out to vote, they don't actually vote for parties. They vote for somebody that gives them the ability to feed their family and protect their family. Whoever offers them the best. And of course, they all know that now, so they come out and tell you stuff before the election. And then, of course, when the election comes, they completely change their mind and then they deny they ever said it. It's time to wake up. I said to you 3 or 4 years ago that every government will fall. I stand by that. Every government will fall. And people keep saying to me, well, who's going to be the next leader? Who's going to be the next government? Every government will fall. As we transition from government to governance, it'll be bumpy, but it'll be worthwhile, I can assure you. That was the news. The last news of 2025. We're moving forward into 2026. It's going to be a better year, I can assure you. A lot of good things are going to happen. Stay positive. Stay close to God. You'll have a better 2026. See you there.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.